Alright, doing a quick follow-up on the O-rings off of the chain that I just cut off that I've got about 8,000 miles on. People say, oh, it's going to swell your O-rings, you're going to ruin your bike using WD-40 and the method that you use to clean. Well, here, let me show you. So these two O-rings obviously are cut off of two different portions of the chain. So I cut them so you know that they're not new, I'm never going to reuse them. Here's a new O-ring that is on the new chain that I'm now putting on. Let's measure this, get it in my calibers here, and grab it. I am getting about 1.80 millimeters. So, let me grab one of these, measure this one. I'm getting about 1.79 millimeters. Let's measure the other one. Get it in here. Sorry, it's a bit of a pain to get to sit right. And there. 1.78 millimeters on this one as well. Drop it out of it. And look, here's the new one. People are worried about, oh, it's gonna get dry, it's gonna crack the way you're doing it. Oh, you're gonna break your chain, it's gonna go flying through, it's gonna cut off your foot. No, doesn't swell, doesn't bind. This chain is just as flexible as new. I haven't had any issues with it. I would say that anyone that says that the method that I use isn't right should probably give it a shot. I think I've said, I don't know, a lot that the method that I use is not a low maintenance thing. I do use it about once, twice a week. I do keep up on my chain. I keep the tension where it needs to be. I adjust the chain, everything else, keep it nice. But I don't have any problems with my O-rings. The rollers on the old chain are fine. Granted, I haven't cleaned this chain since fall, since I put the bike away. So you're probably seeing a little grime on it. But the chain itself is fine. None of the O-rings are broken. The chain isn't overly stretched. It is right where it should be. I didn't even actually need to replace this chain. I'm doing it because I've had lots of questions about how I'm doing it, the overall side effects. Does it gonna hurt the chain? People are saying I'm gonna die, and if that's the way I want to treat my bike, go ahead. You know what, I haven't had any issues with it, and any of the naysayers out there probably haven't done it, and anybody that says, well, WD-40 isn't a lubricant hasn't gone to the actual manufacturer's website to look at the ingredients in it. WD-40 is a water dispersant formula, correct, Formula 40, but it does have lubricating properties in it. And if you actually email WD-40 themselves, they'll actually tell you that a lot of guys are using it this way and they haven't seen any negative side effects. While they do make a WD-40 that's meant for specific chains, that is actually a thicker formula, kind of like you would buy like a chain wax or a chain lube. That's what that is, if you guys are wondering. Well, why wouldn't you just use WD-40 instead of the chain wax or the chain lube WD-40? Well, that's because that's just no different than any other chain lube. The reason why I use this method is because it's clean, it doesn't fling, it's quick and easy to do, it's cheap. And it's just the way I do things, and it works. It works for me, and I'm not saying it's going to work for you, or you're gonna like it, or you're gonna agree with it. You don't have to. That's fine. That's great. You're allowed to have an opinion, but make sure it's educated. Like I said, I've done my research. I wouldn't just do something to risk my own life for shits and giggles. I'm not a daredevil. I don't like to do things that are going to harm me. But yeah, so I've measured these two. They are literally 0.01 millimeters within difference of this one, and these are actually just a touch smaller, and that's obviously because I've been riding on this chain. Things aren't, WD-40 and kerosene isn't going to make it swell. That's not what they do, and I've proven that over and over again, and here's my own little testament to it. So any other questions, let me know. Okay, so sorry about that. My camera ended up dying on me in the garage, so this is like a couple days later and me kind of going over the breakdown of my chain. So my most popular video, obviously, is the chain cleaning video. It's also the most, probably has the most comments, questions, and actually a lot of complaints. So like I was doing before, I was kind of showing you the O-ring measurement of the O-ring that actually, the side that I cut off, and actually took it off of both sides, so that you could see the measurement, that it actually doesn't affect the O-rings at all. People keep saying that it's going to destroy the O-rings, and I mean, as you can see here, they're still tough. It's still got its elasticity. So I'm not real sure what people are talking about, to be honest with you. So like I said, I wanted to show you guys my chain, because some people use my method, other people don't. So let's see how close I can get in here. I think it's going to want me to focus on these back ones here. But the rollers and everything, I mean, they roll just fine, like they would new. I mean, the chain flexes like it would new. I mean, this chain probably had, I don't know, probably a handful, maybe more track days, a lot of miles. And this thing's perfect. I really didn't even need to cut this off. I just did it to make a video to kind of prove a point. Like I said, I measured the O-rings, or this is actually an X-ring. This isn't an O-ring. And the reason why they call it an X-ring is because there's a split. Let's see if I can get, the way my lighting is set up, it may not want to show it. Let's see here. Doesn't look like it's going to focus, at least not at that point. But there's actually a split around the... My camera is just going batshit. Well, anyways, if you look at the perimeter of the X-ring, even the face of it looks a little different. But around the perimeter, there's a split down the outside of it, and that's the reason why they call it an X-ring. You can actually, right there, you can kind of see it. At the top portion, you can see the split. That's why they call it an X-ring. Now, I haven't had any issues with these. I measured them before. They measured, I think, within like 0.01 millimeters of the original, the one that I just put on the bike. And like I said, they are extremely, I mean, they're pliable. I mean, they're just like they would be, I mean, if you grabbed it out of the box. So I'm not real sure what else I can do. I mean, I posted the links of the independent guy that did the overnight, I think it was originally overnight, and then he turned it into like 3 weeks of soaking in kerosene and WD-40, and it showed absolutely no effect on the O-rings. As long as what you're using isn't petroleum based, you should be good to go as far as cleaning. Other guys have been asking me, you know, should I use gasoline? No, really don't want to use gasoline. The problem with gasoline is that it evaporates really quickly, and you will dry out the O-rings at that point. The nice thing about WD-40 and kerosene is it doesn't evaporate quickly, and it will not dry out the O-rings. The actual roller integrity is still really, I mean, it's, other than it wearing on the sprockets like it normally would, the O-ring integrity is, or the roller integrity is just amazing. I mean, it hasn't really affected the rollers per se. Now keep in mind, this is the side that I cut, so there's a lot of debris from when I cut it. Let me lock these down here and I can actually roll it real quick. So let me get my light. I'm going to change my lighting here and move it, get it a little better suited for this. Maybe that'll help. Oh, that helped out a ton. Okay, so like I said, keep in mind there's a lot of debris on this side because I cut it off with a cut-off wheel. But these rollers are in great condition. I mean, comparing to what the, you know, a new one, and I wish I wouldn't have put it on the bike already, but I mean, you can see me rolling it here with my pen. You know, obviously my pen doesn't have a lot of good grip, so, but yeah, it's rolling just fine. It's got its typical up and down play that it would, which isn't much. The roller next to it, same situation. It's rolling just fine. The next roller, just fine. Next roller, just fine. And all the O-rings or X-rings are perfect. I mean, you can't get them any better than that. I mean, they're not broken, they're not dried out, they're perfect. So I'll let you guys, I don't know, I'll let you guys give me your opinion. Like I said, it can go both ways. I mean, if you don't want to, I mean, it's simply how I do it. So if it's not something that interests you, don't do it. I mean, it's just honestly how I do it. I've never had any issues, and all the guys that use it, I don't think have had any issues. I've also posed the question to a lot of people, show me an instance where this method has caused a problem. Everything gets real quiet when I ask that. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, I'm just trying to be honest. Like, if you know of a situation where the method that I'm using, in particular the WD-40, has caused a problem and guys have gone down because of it and lost a leg or lost their engine casing or tore up their bike because the chain snapped, let me know, because that's what everyone's saying is going to happen, but it has never happened. So big key thing with this method that I use, chain adjustment, as far as tension goes, chain alignment, and that goes from side to side, and then keeping up on it, making sure that you're not just doing this once a year and calling it a day. I do it, like I said, probably every time I clean my bike. So and my bike stays really clean, and there's a reason for that. So, you know, it's to go hand in hand. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people are actually going to watch this. Honestly, I don't really, I mean, I care, but I don't, because these are just honestly my opinions, and some people like them, some people don't. Anyways, let me know what you think. I'm gonna put the first part of the video on with me measuring the O-rings, and then this kind of as a filler in the back end, me more just talking endlessly than not. So let me know what you think. If you guys are using this method, you know, there's like 143,000 views on the other video. If you guys are using this method, let me know if it's working for you, if it's not working for you, if it's, you know, if you've had an accident because of it. Let me know. You know, full disclaimer that, you know, this is just my opinion, you know, of what you can do and save yourself some money and save yourself some time from cleaning up all the slung chain wax or chain lube. You know, some guys say, well, it doesn't sling. Every chain lube slings. You know, even this WD-40 slings a little bit, but it's really easy to clean up because it's liquid. I can just wipe it off and be done. It's not that goo that I have to sit there and rub and rub and rub with kerosene or another cleaner to get it off. If you don't believe me that your stuff doesn't sling, pull off your front sprocket cover and take a look. You're going to see it all over the engine casing, all over probably right around the kickstand connection point or the pivot point. You know, you're probably going to see it on your frame a little bit. So yeah, take a look. Anyways, let me know what you think. It's been about 10 minutes of me rambling right now, so that's probably enough. Yeah, let me know. Thanks, guys.